Senate will come to order. Mr. Carpenter, please call the roll.
Senators Aguilar, Aguilar,
Absent.
Baumgardner, Cook, Quorum, Court, Court,
Absent. Oh, here she is.
Crowder, Donovan, Benberg, Fields, Garcia, Gardner, Guzman, Hill, Hill,
Absent.
Holbert, John, Jones, Kagan, Gafalis, Kerr, Kerr,
Absent.
Lambert, Lundberg, Marble, Martinez Humenic, Merrifield, Moreno, Moreno,
Absent.
Neville, Priola,
Excused.
Scott, Smallwood, Sonnenberg, Tate, Todd, Williams, Zinzinger,
Aguilar.
Aguilar,
There's Hill. Andrew. Andrew. Hill. Hill.
Hill,
Who?
No. Yeah. I do not know that one at all. Do you guys know where Dominic is at all?
Let's roll.
Mr. President.
Here. 32 present, 2 absent, 1 excused. We have a quorum. Senator Donovan, please come and lead us in the pledge.
Thank you, Mr. President. Will the chamber please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please add Senator Kerr to the roll. Journal. Senator Holbert. Senator Tate. Journal motion.
Journal motion. Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the reading of the journal from Thursday, April 27th be dispensed with and that it be approved as amended by the Secretary of the Senate.
You have heard the motion. Is there any objection? Seeing none, the motion is adopted. Committee reports.
April 27, 2017, Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy has had under consideration had hearing on the following appointments and recommends the appointments be placed in the consent calendar and confirmed. Members of the Colorado Wildlife Habitat Stamp Committee for term expiring December 31st, 2019, Andrew Christian Treharn of Denver, Colorado, to serve as a sportsman and occasioned by the resignation of Kyle Miller of Denver, Colorado, appointed for term expiring December 31st, 2020. John Douglas Wellman of Hamilton, Colorado, a landowner actively engaged in agriculture, appointed. John H. Thatcher of Pueblo, Colorado, landowner actively engaged in agriculture, reappointed. April 27, 2017, the Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy has had under consideration had hearing on the following appointments and recommends the appointments be placed in the consent calendar and confirmed. Members of the Colorado Water Conservation Board for a term expiring February 12, 2018, James Thomas Yon of Sterling, Colorado, to serve as a representative of the South Platte Drainage Basin as a Republican occasioned by the death of Phyllis Diane Hopp of Broomfield, Colorado, appointed. April 27, 2017, the Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy has had under consideration had hearing on the following appointments and recommends the appointments be placed in the consent calendar and confirmed. Members of the Oil, Gas, and Conservation Commission For a term expiring July 1st, 2020, Ashley Lowe Ager of Durango, Colorado, to serve as a member with formal training or substantial experience in soil conservation and reclamation west of the Continental Divide and is Democrat appointed. Kent Jolie of Glenwood Springs, Colorado, to serve as a member actively engaged in agricultural production as a royalty owner west of the Continental Divide as Republican appointed. April 27, 2017, Community on Agriculture, Natural Resource and Energy has had on consideration had hearing on the following appointments and recommends the appointments be placed on the consent calendar and confirmed. Members of the Mine Land Reclamation Board effective March 1st, 2017 for terms expiring March 1st, 2021. Forrest Von Luca of Craig, Colorado, an individual with substantial experience in the mining industry reappointed. Jill Herringa Van Nord of Boulder, Colorado, an individual with substantial experience in conservation reappointed. April 27, 2017, Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resource and Energy has had under consideration and had a hearing on the following appointments and recommends the appointments be placed on the consent calendar and confirmed. Members of the Energy Impact Assistance Advisory Committee for terms expiring August 24th, 2020. Mary Jo Mary Downey of Fort Collins, Colorado, reappointed. Honorable Carrie Hermosinski of Steamboat Springs, Colorado, appointed. April 27, 2017, Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resource and Energy has had under consideration and had a hearing on the following appointments and recommends the appointments be placed on the consent calendar and confirmed. Member of the Groundwater Commission for a term expiring May 1st, 2020, James M. Noble of Denver, Colorado, to serve as a representative of municipal industrial users and occasioned by the resignation of Eric E. Cox of Denver, Colorado, appointed. Angela Beth Fowler of Glenwood Springs, Colorado, to serve as a representative of Western Slope municipal or industrial users, appointed. April 27, 2017, Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resource and Energy has had on consideration and had a hearing on the following appointments and recommends the appointments be placed on the consent calendar and confirmed. Members of the Colorado Fair Authority Board of Commissioners for terms expiring November 1st, 2020, Ralph Paul Youngs of Steamboat Springs, Colorado, and unaffiliated residing in the 3rd Congressional District, appointed. Virginia Jenny Vietti Frisco of Colorado, Democrat residing in 2nd Congressional District, reappointed. April 27, 2017, Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resource and Energy has had under consideration had a hearing on the following appointments and recommends the appointments be placed on the consent calendar confirmed. Members of the Colorado Energy Research Authority for a term expiring July 1st, 2019, Kathleen Booth Stacks of Lakewood, Colorado, occasioned by the resignation of Jeffrey Paul Ackerman of Denver, Colorado, appointed. April 27, 2017, Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resource and Energy. After consideration of the merits, Committee recommends the following. House Bill 1282 be amended as follows. As so amended, refer to Committee on Appropriations with a favorable recommendation. April 27, 2017, Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resource and Energy. After consideration of merits, Committee recommends the following. House Bill 1291 be referred to Committee of the Whole with a favorable recommendation. Recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. April 27, 2017, Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resource and Energy. After consideration of merits, Committee recommends the following. Senate Joint Resolution 33 be referred favorably to the Committee on State Veterans and Military Affairs. First report of First Conference Committee on House Bill 1070. This report amends the revised bill to the President of the Senate and the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Your First Conference Committee appointed on House Bill 1070 concerning the use of unmanned aircraft systems to perform government functions relating to certain public safety functions in connection therewith, requiring the Center of Excellence within the Department of Public Safety to perform a study and operate a pilot program. As met in reports that it is agreed upon the following, that the House exceeded the Senate amendments made to the bill and as amendments appear in the revised bill with the following changes. Signed, House Committee, Representative Wilson, Chair, Representative Salazar, Representative Valdez, Senate Committee, Senator Quorum, Chair, Senator Crowder, Senator Donovan. April 27, 2017, Committee on Health and Human Services had on consideration had a hearing on the following appointments and recommends the appointments placed on the consent calendar. Confirmed members of the Colorado Children's Trust Fund Board for a term expiring November 7, 2017. Deborah J. Kinney of Larkspur, Colorado, to serve as a member with knowledge of child abuse prevention occasioned by the resignation of Gregory Jackson Tong, Colorado, appointed for a term expiring November 7, 2019. Lisa A. Merlino Hill of Broomfield, Colorado, to serve as a member with knowledge of child abuse prevention, reappointed. April 27, 2017. The Committee on Health and Human Services had on consideration had a hearing on the following appointments and recommends the appointments be placed on the consent calendar and confirmed. Members of the State Board of Health for a term expiring March 1, 2019. Evelyn A. Barayo of Fort Collins, Colorado, resident of the 2nd Congressional District and Democrat, occasioned by the resignation of Janelle Catherine Osborne of Broomfield, Colorado, appointed for terms expiring March 1, 2021. Matthew Van Auken of Colorado Springs, Colorado, resident of the 5th Congressional District as an affiliated, reappointed. Michael Anthony Capello of Brush, Colorado, resident of the 4th Congressional District as a Republican, reappointed. Sean M. Turk of Centennial, Colorado, resident of the 6th Congressional District as a Democrat, appointed. Patricia Jane Hammond of Eagle, Colorado, resident of the 3rd Congressional District as a Democrat, appointed. Lou Gator III of Livermore, Colorado, resident of the 2nd Congressional District and Republican, serve as an at-large member and county commissioner, appointed. April 27, 2017, the Committee on Health and Human Services had on consideration had a hearing on the following appointments and recommends appointments to be placed on the consent calendar. Confirmed members of the Colorado Health Facilities Authority Board of Directors for term expiring June 30, 2020. Beverly K. Sloan of Denver, Colorado, Democrat, appointed. Don Willis Marostica of Loveland, Colorado, Republican, reappointed. April 27, 2017. Committee on Health and Human Services had on consideration had a hearing on the following appointments and recommends appointments to be placed on the consent calendar. Confirmed members of the Hospital Provider Fee Oversight and Advisory Board for a term expiring May 15, 2019. Kimberly Gay Monjeski of Woodland Park, Colorado, an employee of a rural hospital in Colorado, occasioned by the resignation of John Robert Gardner, Fascia of Yuma, Colorado, appointed for terms expiring May 15, 2020. Danny Anderson of Castle Rock, Colorado, an employee of a hospital in Colorado, reappointed. And George Montgomery O'Brien of Pueblo, Colorado, a person with a disability who is living with a disability and with who is not representative or employee of a hospital, health insurance carrier, or health care industry entity reappointed. April 27, 2017, Committee on Health and Human Services. After consideration of mayor's committee recommends the following: House Bill 1285 be referred favorably to the Committee on Finance. April 27, 2017, Committee on Education. After consideration of mayor's committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 296 be amended as follows: as so amended, refer to the Committee on Appropriations with a favorable recommendation. Correctly printed, Senate Bill 303, correctly engrossed, Senate Bill 280 and 292, Senate Joint Resolution 32, correctly re-engrossed, Senate Bill 253 and 293, correctly revised, House Bill 1207, 1249, 1283, 1295, 1297, and 1298, correctly re-revised, House Bill 1228 and 1316, correctly enrolled, Senate Bill 217, 218, 219, 221, 239, Senate Memorial 2 and 3.
Message from the House.
The House has postponed indefinitely Senate Bill 82 and 186. The bills are returned herewith. The House has voted to recede from its position on Senate Bill 203 and repass the bill amended. The bill is returned herewith. The House has voted to concur in the Senate amendments to House Bill 1045, 1263, 1176, 1246, 1190, 1004, 1057, and has repassed the bills as so amended.
Please add Senator Priola to the roll and Senator Moreno to the roll. Colleagues, Majority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, we will be on the floor for about 40 minutes more this morning. At 10 a.m., there is a memorial in the House for former Senator Bill Armstrong. I anticipate, there's no way to know exactly how long that will take, but an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. You are welcome to join us in the House. You are not required to be there. This is not a joint session. There'll be no roll taken. Those who live out of town, you may want to start traveling toward home. Join us for some, all, but we will not return to the floor. So we are here for business for about 40 minutes. We will then recess. We may have some bills to read over later today, and the President and I will be here. You don't have to be here. So we will also, if there is time, there may be a special order request for Senate Bill 298. But that depends on whether there's time. If not, we will do that Monday. We will be moving through third reading and second reading as on the calendar and the governor's appointments. There is a resolution there on page 2. I've been asked to lay that over to May 8th. So, thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I would move to proceed out of order for a moment of personal privilege from the good senator from Jefferson County.
Motion is to proceed out of order for a moment of personal privilege. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and we'll proceed out of order. Senator John.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I request a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you. Well, you know, members, we all have people that are very special to us in our lives, the ones that encourage us when we fall down, the ones that encourage us when we're up. And I have someone here today that is very, very special to me. And I am just thrilled to tell you that I have my sister, Tammy, who is in the back, and of course with her, David. She has moved away to Florida, he in England, so they kind of go back and forth between Florida and England. She has been a 200% supporter, you know, as being a single mom with 3 kids. There were days when I just sure I was not going to make it, and she would always ensure and tell me, yes, you can do this. Running for office, she was the one that was always right there for me. I know, she did help me win you all. And so I am just thrilled to have her here today, and just out of a very special thank you to the great sister that she has always been, I did have this flag flown over the Capitol for you, and we have a plaque and want to thank you. And David, thank you for being here today too.
Introduction of resolutions.
Senate Resolution 4 by Senator Grantham concerning the approval by the Senate of the Senate President's appointment of William J. Leone to the Independent Ethics Commission.
Chris. Slide over to Monday.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to lay over Senate Resolution 4 until Monday.
Motion is to lay over Senate Resolution 4 till Monday. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and that will be laid over. Introduction of bills.
Senate Bill 304 by Senators Martinez, Humick, and Williams, and Representative Singer and Thurlow concerning the authority of the Joint Technology Committee.
State Veterans and Military Affairs. Third reading of bills, consent calendar. Mr. Carpenter, please read the titles to all the bills on the third reading of bills consent calendar.
Senate Bill 292 by Senator Lundberg and Representative Rankin concerning the creation of employment opportunities with wages program for qualifying Colorado Works basic cash assistance recipients and in connection therewith making an appropriation. House Bill 1298 by Representative Hamner and Senator Lundberg concerning the date by which the state personnel director is required to submit the annual compensation report. House Bill 1295 by Representative Rankin and Senator Moreno concerning the repeal of the Governor's Office of Marijuana Coordination. House Bill 1283 by Representative Singer and Norberg and Senators Garcia and Cook concerning the creation of a task force to examine workforce resiliency in the child welfare system.
Majority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move all the bills on the third reading of bills final passage consent calendar, consisting of Senate Bill 292 and House Bills 1298, 1295, and 1283.
Is there any discussion on any of the bills on the third reading of bills consent calendar? The motion is for the adoption of all the bills on the third reading of bills consent calendar. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, Senate Bill 292 is adopted. Co-sponsors: Senator Crowder, Senator Kafalis, Senator Lambert, Senator Kerr, Senator Martinez-Humenick. With 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1298 is adopted. Co-sponsors: Senator Senator Tate. With 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1295 is adopted. Co-sponsors: Majority Leader Holbert, Senator Crowder, Senator Baumgardner, Senator Martinez-Humenick, Senator Lambert, Senator Lundberg. Please add the President, and Senator Kafalis, and Senator Jones. With 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1283 is adopted. Co-sponsors: Senator Aguilar, Senator Hill, Senator Crowder, Senator Court, Senator Fields, Senator Williams, Senator Todd, Senator Merrifield, Senator John, Senator Moreno, Senator Kafalis, I got you, Senator Jones. Third reading of bills, final passage. Mr. Carpenter, please read the title of House Bill 1249.
House Bill 1249 by Representative Melton and Senator Tate concerning the unlicensed selling of motor vehicles and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senator Tate.
Thank you, Mr. President. I kindly move House Bill 1249 and ask for an aye vote here on third reading and final passage.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1249. Are there any no votes? Senator Neville, Senator Marble, Senator Hill. With 32 ayes, 3 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1249 is. Please add Senator Holbert as a no. (31 ayes, 4 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused. House Bill 1249 is adopted. Co-sponsors: Senator Kafalis. Mr. Carpenter, please read the title of the Senate Bill 280.
Senate Bill 280 by Senator Tate and Representative Kraft, Thorpe, and Thurlow concerning extending the repeal date of the Colorado Economic Development Commission and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senator Tate.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also kindly move Senate Bill 280 and ask for an aye vote here on third reading and final passage.
Is there any further discussion? Motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 280. Are there any no votes? Senator Cook, Senator Hill, Senator Baumgardner, Senator Neville, Senator Marble, Senator Smallwood, Senator Sonnenberg, Majority Leader Holbert. 27 ayes, 8 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused. Senate Bill 280 is adopted. Co-sponsors: Senator Merrifield, Senator Crowder, Senator Moreno, Senator Martinez-Humenic, Senator Gardner, Senator Kerr, Senator Donovan, Senator John, Mr. Carpenter, please read the title of the House Bill 1297.
House Bill 1297 by Representative Gray and Senator Gardner concerning meetings for which the Special District Director may be compensated for attending.
Senator Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1297 on third reading and final passage.
Is there any further discussion? Motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1297. Are there any no votes? Senator Marble, Senator Neville, Senator Sonnenberg, Senator Smallwood, Majority Leader Holbert, Senator Cook, Senator Baumgardner, (28) ayes, 7 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused. House Bill 1297 is adopted. Co-sponsors: Senator Crowder, Mr. Carpenter, please read the title of the House Bill 1207.
House Bill 1207 by Representative Lee and Senator Priola concerning the requirement for the Department of Human Services to place a juvenile who is 10 years of age and older but less than 13 years of age in a detention facility unless the juvenile is charged with a serious offense and in connection therewith reducing an appropriation.
Senator Priola.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1207 on third reading and final passage.
Is there any further discussion? Motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1207. Are there any no votes? With 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1207 is adopted. Co-sponsors: Senator Cook, Senator Crowder, Senator Martinez-Humenic, Senator Smallwood, Senator Hill, Senator Neville, Senator John, Senator Merrifield, Senator Todd, Senator Williams, Senator Aguilar, Senator Court, Senator Kafalis, Senator Fields, Senator Jones, Senator Moreno, Senator Kagan, Senator Kerr, Senator Gardner. Please add the President. General Order, second reading of bills, consent calendar. Senator Neville.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for purposes of general orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar.
Motion before the body is to resolve itself in the Committee of the Whole for consideration of the general order, second reading of bills, consent calendar. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted, and the Senate will resolve itself in the Committee of the Whole for consideration of the general order, second reading of bills, consent calendar. Senator Neville will take the chair.
Committee will come to order. Court rule is relaxed. I'm sorry. Majority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There has been a request by the bill sponsor to remove House Bill 1251 from the consent calendar. We will remove that bill and place it on the general order second reading of bills calendar.
So House Bill 1251 will be removed from the consent calendar and be, I'm sorry, Majority Leader, where was that? At the end of the other, the second reading calendar?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Mr. Chairman.
Majority Leader Holbert. Did you?
Have him read the title.
All right. The committee will come to order. The court rule is relaxed. Mr. Carpenter, would you please read the title of the bills on second reading consent calendar?
House Bill 1258 by Representative Hamner and Willett and Senators Quorum and Donovan concerning renaming Delta Montrose Technical College as Technical College of the Rockies. House Bill 1301 by Representative Michelson Janae and Senator Holbert and Fields concerning protecting the students' access to school records necessary for enrollment in another educational institution despite outstanding payments due to the school. House Bill 1288 by Representative Sandon-Foote and Senators Cook and Court concerning the penalties for DUI offenders who commit their fourth and subsequent DUI offenses. House Bill 1257 by Representative Arndt and Senator Tate concerning the scheduled approval of reports by the Department of Natural Resources to the General Assembly.
Majority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move all of the remaining bills on the general order second reading of bills consent calendar consisting of House Bills 1258, 1301, 1288, and 1257.
Is there any discussion? The motion before the body is the adoption of all the bills in the general order second reading of bills consent calendar. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bills are adopted. Majority Leader Holbert.
Move the committee rise and report.
Motion before the body is to rise and report. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the committee will rise and report.
Senate will come back to order. Senator Neville.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The committee is, thank you, Mr. President. The committee has had a number of bills under consideration. Mr. Carpenter, would you please read the report?
Mr. President, your committee of the whole begs leave to report had on consideration the following attached bills, being the second reading thereof, and makes the following recommendation thereon. House Bill 1258, House Bill 1301, House Bill 1288, House Bill 1257, passed on second read, order revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1251, removed from the general order's second reading of bills consent calendar, and placed in the end of the general order's second reading of bills calendar for 4/28/17.
Senator Neville.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of the report.
The motion is the adoption of the report to the committee of the whole. Are there any no votes? With 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, the committee of the whole report is adopted. House Bill 1258, House Bill 1301, House Bill 1288, House Bill 1257, passed on second reading, order revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1251, removed from the general order second reading of bills consent calendar, placed at the end of the general order second reading of bills calendar for 4/28/17. General order second reading of bills. Senator Neville.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate resolve itself into the committee of the whole for the purposes of general order second reading of bills.
Motion before the body is to resolve itself in the committee of the whole for consideration of the general order second reading of bills calendar. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say no. The motion is adopted. The Senate will resolve itself in the committee of the whole for consideration of the general order second reading of bills calendar. Senator Neville will take the chair.
Committee will come to order. Court rules relaxed. Mr. Carpenter, would you please read the title to Senate Bill 295?
Senate Bill 295 by Senator Lundberg and Representative Young concerning revisions to the state agency reports concerning fraud in the Medicaid program.
Senator Lundberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 295.
Senator Lundberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is the Joint Budget Committee bill that's, we looked at the fraud reporting that we received from the Medicaid program, and I can attest to this, having tried to track this over the last dozen years or so, and it's not quite up to snuff. So we're trying to add a little more comprehensive overview to the reports we get on how Medicaid may not be working well in some ways in reporting any potential fraud and abuse that could be occurring.
Is there any further discussion on Senate Bill 295? Motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 295. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and Senate Bill 295 is adopted. Mr. Carpenter, please read the title to House Bill 1271.
House Bill 1271 by Representative Pedersen and Senator Priola concerning waivers granted to school districts of innovation.
Senator Priola.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, I move House Bill 1271 and the Education Committee report.
To the Education report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members added one word, standards, twice in the bill. It was a good amendment, improves the bill. Ask for an aye vote.
Is there any discussion on the education report? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of the education report to House Bill 1271. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The education report is adopted. Senator Priola.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, this is a good bill, came over from the House, 1271, firms up the language and direction of the State Board when it comes to school districts that are on the clock. Ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1271? The motion before the body, seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1271. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and House Bill 1271 is adopted. Mr. Carpenter, would you please read the title to House Bill 1251?
House Bill 1251 by Representative Norberg and Senator Moreno concerning the scheduled repeal reports by higher education agencies to the General Assembly.
Senator Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move House Bill 1251.
We have an amendment on the desk. Mr. Carpenter, please read the title to L004.
Amendment L004 to House Bill 1251 by Senator Moreno. Amend Noreen Gross Bill, page 11, line 2, strike this and substitute 1.
Senator Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move Amendment L004.
To the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This amendment's pretty simple. There is another bill that is making its way through the process, Senate Bill 297. So this amendment is just needed to make sure that the two coordinate with one another and that certain sections of this bill will not take effect if Senate Bill 297 is successful. Ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on L004? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of L004. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. L004 is adopted. To the bill, Senator Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Colleagues, this is just a simple statutory revision committee bill that puts repeal dates on some of the reports that are submitted by the Department of Higher Education. Ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1251. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. 1251 is adopted. Majority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion before us is for the committee to rise and report. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The committee will rise and report.
Senate will come to order. Senator Neville.
Thank you, Mr. President. Your committee has met and had a number of bills under consideration. Mr. Carpenter, would you please read the report?
Mr. President, your committee of the whole based lead reports had on consideration the following attached bills being the second reading thereof and makes the following recommendation on Senate Bill 295, pass the second read order, gross place on calendar for their reading and final passage. House Bill 1271 is amended. House Bill 1251 is amended. Pass the second read order, revise and place on calendar for their reading and final passage.
Senator Neville.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of the committee whole report.
Motion before us is the adoption of the report to the Committee of the Whole. Are there any no votes? With 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, the Committee of the Whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 295 passed on second reading, ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1271 is amended. House Bill 1251 is amended. Passed on second reading and ordered revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Consideration of resolutions.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to lay over HJR 1029 until Monday, May 8th.
Motion is to lay over House Joint Resolution 1029 until Monday, May 8th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Ayes have it, and that will be laid over. Consideration of governor's appointments consent calendar. Mr. Carpenter, please read all the appointees on the governor's appointments consent calendar.
Members of the Pinnacle Assurance Board of Directors, effective August 31st, 2016, for a term expiring January 1st, 2021, Geraldine Ann Lewis Jenkins of Denver, Colorado, to serve as an employee of an employer whose liability is insured by Pinnacle appointed. For terms expiring January 1st, 2022, Howard L. Carver of Silverthorne, Colorado, who has experience in the management and operation of insurance companies not competing with Pinnacle Assurance, reappointed. Jeffrey L. Cummings of Arvada, Colorado, an employer whose liability is insured by Pinnacle Assurance, reappointed.
Majority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move all of the appointments listed on the consideration of governor's appointments consent calendar consisting of members of the Pinnacle Assurance Board of Directors.
Is there any discussion? The motion is the adoption of all the governor's appointments listed on the consent calendar. Are there any no votes? With 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, the appointments are confirmed. The following persons have been appointed to the Pinnacle Assurance Board of Directors: Geraldine Ann Lewis Jenkins, Howard L. Carver, and Jeffrey L. Cummings. Message from the governor.
February 17, 2017, to the Honorable Colorado Senate. Ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to the powers conferred upon by the Constitution and laws of the State of Colorado, the honor designated appoint, reappoint, and submit to your consideration the following members of the State Board of Human Services for term expiring March 1st, 2019. Honorable Thomas Crawford Davidson of Dillon, Colorado, to serve as a county commissioner as well as a family member of a person with a disability appointed for terms expiring March 1st, 2021. Dennis Edward Swain of North Glen, Colorado, serve as a member of the public, reappointed. Jeffrey Gordon Kerr of Grand Junction, Colorado, as a member of the public, reappointed. Bernard A. Buscher of Grand Junction, Colorado, to serve as a member of the public, appointed. Chris J. Watney of Denver, Colorado, to serve as a member of the public, appointed. Sincerely, John W. Hickenlooper, Governor.
Health and Human Services. Signing of bills.
The President has signed Senate Bill 27, 105, 117, 187, 258, and 264. The President has signed Senate Joint Resolution 32. The President has signed Senate Joint Resolution 38 and 42, Senate Memorial 2 and 3.
Announcements. Senator Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask for a moment of personal privilege to present a tribute.
Granted.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, you may have noticed that we have quite a few teachers down here at the Capitol today, and today I'd like to present a tribute that the Colorado Legislature hereby extends heartiest appreciation and is proud to honor Colorado educators. In Colorado and across the country, educators open children's minds to new ideas, knowledge, and aspirations that can profoundly influence students long after their school days are over. Even in the face of recent education budget cuts, Colorado's educators continue to demonstrate their commitment to providing a world-class education to their students. The teacher shortage in Colorado is reaching crisis mode, and schools are struggling to staff their classrooms. Nevertheless, the members of the Colorado Senate acknowledge the lasting contributions educators have made to our lives and express our sincere appreciation to the more than 75,000 Colorado public school teachers and education support professionals for their work and dedication. And if you see a teacher here today, please give them thanks and say hello. Thank you.
Senator Todd. And Senator
Thank
Merrifield.
you. Thank you, Mr. President. And may I ask for a moment of personal privilege?
Granted.
Thank you. To tag on to what we just heard as a tribute to teachers and to give credit where credit is due, the good senator from Sterling gave us a good idea about how God created farmers. He also created teachers. So I'm going to share just a little blurb at the same time. And on the 9th day, God looked down at his paradise and caretakers and said, "To have a just world, you need to be educated." So God made a teacher. God said, "I need somebody willing to get up before dawn, greet the children at the door, be positive role models, be entertaining, creative, innovative, and inspirational. Somebody willing to offer extra help, sponsor a club, add a basketball game, then eat dinner." then grade and plan for the next day well into the night. So God made a teacher. He said, I need someone who understands that education is for bettering lives, not just test scores. So God made a teacher. Teachers will need to have a sense of humor about snotty noses, soiled pants, classroom interruptions, bubble sheet tests, eternally changing circumstances and curriculums, meeting upon meeting, crazy helicopter parents, and being asked again and again at the most inopportune times, can I go to the bathroom? God said, I need somebody who will have a profound impact on the world around them and be okay knowing they will never know exactly what that impact is. Somebody who won't make a fortune, but who will make a difference. Somebody whose only special interest are the children sitting in front of them.
Senator Merrifield.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I have a moment of personal privilege? Thank you. And God also said, I need somebody willing to put the needs of others' families ahead of their own, willing to spend their own money for other child's supplies, willing to go hungry in the afternoon so somebody else's child won't. So God made a teacher. God had to have somebody to help students deal with divorce, unemployment, homelessness, hunger, loneliness, addictions, depression, sexuality, anxiety, disabilities, bullies, and language barriers, and then be able to teach and challenge and motivate and inspire. And God said, I need somebody who never dreamed their choice of profession could cost them their life, but if confronted, not hesitate to protect the ones they call their children. And so on the 9th day, God made a teacher. Having spent 30 days in the classroom, 30 years in the classroom, feels like days. I want to thank the teachers who are here and the teachers across the state for what you do every day for children and for this state.
Senator Merrifield.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Could we have the teachers who are here today please stand so we can give them a really appropriate recognition, the recognition that they deserve? Thank you.
Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to request a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just on this day of observing people and teachers that have had an impact in our life, I would like to thank my 3rd grade teacher, Miss Hamner is what I call her. Most of you know her as Representative Hamner. Thank you, Mr. President.
Majority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate take up a special orders calendar consisting of one bill listed on page 3 of your calendar for today, members. This is Senate Bill 298. I move that we take up a special orders calendar at 9:47 a.m., consisting of that one bill, Senate Bill 298.
The motion is that the Senate take up Senate Bill 298 on special orders at the hour of 9:47. The motion requires 2/3 vote. Or actually, yeah, it does. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted, and the Senate will take up the one bill on special orders at the hour of 9:47 a.m.
Only 2/3 to me.
Special orders, second reading of bills. Senator Neville.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for purpose of general orders, second reading of bills, consent, or special orders, second reading of bills.
Special orders, second reading of bills. Motion before the body is for the Senate to resolve itself in the Committee of the Whole for consideration of the special orders, second reading of bills, calendar. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. Ayes have it, and the motion is adopted, and the Senate will resolve itself in the Committee of the Whole for consideration of the special orders, second reading of bills, calendar. Senator Neville will take the chair.
Mike Feely said that the auto dealers We're about running out of time, Matt.
Committee will come to order. Mr. Carpenter, would you please read the title of Senate Bill 298?
Senate Bill 298 by Senator Tate and Representative Kraft-Tharp concerning the relationship between a motor vehicle manufacturer and the motor vehicle dealers that have franchise agreements with the manufacturer.
Senator Tate.
Thank you, Senator. I move Senate Bill 298 in the Business Committee report.
To the Business Committee report.
The committee, we passed several amendments in the committee reflecting agreements between the two parties reflected in this bill. Ask for an aye vote in the committee report.
Is there further discussion on the committee report? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of the Business Committee report. Those in favor say aye. I'm sorry, Senator Jones.
I do.
Not Senator Jones. The motion before the body is the adoption of the Business Committee report. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. Business Committee report is adopted. Senator Tate.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have an amendment.
There's an amendment on the desk. Mr. Carpenter, would you please read the title to Amendment L021?
Amendment L021, Senate Bill 298 by Senator Tate.
Senator Tate.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Amendment L021. This amendment is a cleanup amendment from one of the parties to further narrow and strengthen where we are in having a compromise between the auto dealers and the auto manufacturers. Both parties have seen the amendment and are pleasantly disposed with having the amendment offered at this time. Urge an aye vote on Amendment L021.
Is there further discussion on L021? Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Would you mind taking a senatorial 5 so that we can read this because it's more than 2.5 pages?
We will be in a senatorial 5. The committee will come back to order. Is there further discussion on 021? Senator Kafalis.
Mr. Chair, thank you. Good morning, colleagues. I would respectfully ask if the bill sponsor could offer as detailed an explanation as possible on L021. Thank you.
Thank you to my colleague.
Senator Tate.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As you can see, most of the amendment is substituting simple words to clarify, but I do want to call members' attention to 3 components. Page 3, bottom of page 2, page 3 substitutes a different process in for how the compensation to a dealer is handled via a recall when there's a stop sale directive. And this language is used in many other states. The manufacturers have proposed this as a substitute to the process that was come up with for the bill. And that's been looked at, and the dealers have agreed to have this in the bill at this time. In addition, another thing that is of substance is page 2, line 17, which is related to how civil disputes are handled and the standard by which those are adjudicated. This is striking, clear, and convincing, and returning the bill to a level of preponderance of the evidence, which is currently how disputes are handled. That is those are the substantive elements of the bill. The rest of it are clarifications. Thank you, members.
Senator Fields. Senator Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And members, we heard this bill on a very short time period, and I totally understand. And we heard from the manufacturers, we heard from some auto dealer owners. And so I have just a couple of questions for the sponsor on this amendment. It's going to be on the first page, line 15. It says, dealer is adversely impacted if the dealer is located within the relevant market area. I would like to know how would we define adversely and explain the relevant market area.
The relevant market area definition has not changed. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Urgent aye vote on the amendment.
Majority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As it is 9:55 a.m., I move to lay over Senate Bill 298 until Monday.
The motion before the body is to lay over Senate Bill 298 until Monday, the May 1st. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. Senate Bill 298 will be laid over till Monday, May 1st. Majority Leader Holbert.
Move the committee rise and report.
Motion before the body is to rise and report. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. Committee will rise and report.
Senate will come to order. Senator Neville.
Thank you, Mr. President. Your committee has met and considered one bill. Mr. Carpenter, would you please read the report?
Mr. President, your committee will hold lead reports had on consideration the following attached bills being the second read thereof makes the following recommendation: one, Senate Bill 298 is amended laid over until 5/1/17, retaining its place on the calendar.
Senator Neville.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move for the adoption of the report.
The motion before us is the adoption of the report to the Committee of the Whole. Are there any no votes? The vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused. The Committee of the Whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 298 is amended, laid over until 5/1/17, retaining its place on the calendar. Majority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate recess until 1:30 p.m. today. Members, the memorial for Senator Bill Armstrong begins at 10 a.m. If you would like to attend, please move over to the House and find a seat so that we can start promptly. Again, Mr. President, I move the Senate recess until 1:30 p.m. today. We will have some bills to read over, but you do not need to be here, members.
Motion before the body is to recess until 1:30 p.m. today. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and we'll be in recess until 1:30 p.m. today.